Kiwi Yarns with Brodie Kane.
Kia ora te whānau and welcome to Kiwi Yarns. Today's guest is the Paralympic sit-ski hopeful, Bailley Unahi. Bailley has just returned from a big training stint in Europe with her sights set on becoming New Zealand's first female Winter Paralympian in over 20 years, which is wild for the 2026 Games. Bailley suffered a spinal cord injury when she was 19 and at Otago University, she was at a flat on Castle Street when the balcony collapsed at the start of a gig by Six60 in 2016. A life-changing moment that Bailley turned into opportunities, which I am very much looking forward to hearing all about today. Bailley Unahi, welcome to Kiwi Yarns.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Welcome, and just back from Europe. How are you? Is it all? Do you get the Do you get like a post-Europe anticlimax, like the post-training winter blues, or you just dive from one winter to the other and you're like, I'm all good, here I am, back home?
Well, I think because the seasons are changing, so in Europe it was getting warmer. Naturally, I'm like, okay, it's time to go home, get ready for the next winter, you know? So I love it.
I mean, I guess being, like, growing up in Winton, I can't imagine that it's super well known for hot climates. So is that why? I've been to Winton. I've been there, by the way. Tropical place. But have you always been someone that's just really leaned into cold weather?
I don't think so. Like, I guess I wasn't really one into hot weather because we didn't have any. It was few and far between. But yeah, I didn't really get into winters until after my injury. But now you kind of acclimatise. Now I can't cope in anything like hot. Just complaining. Oh wow! Yeah.
And that's funny because when you're home in Aotearoa, you're based in beautiful Wanaka, which does get hot.
Not when I'm there. If it's getting hot, I'm leaving.
Do you set the alarm? It's like, oh, okay, we're in November, gotta go.
Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, so how are you? Obviously, it's a really big year for you, which we'll get into. But it's always good to know just mentally how my guest is sitting here across from me.
Pretty good. Obviously, there's always lots you're juggling, but I like to keep busy and I think, thrive on always having something to do and lots of cool opportunities, and you don't know what's around the corner, so you've got to make the most of now.
I did hear that you'd spoken to someone else about after the accident you realised that you were someone that might have said no or not sort of grabbed every opportunity, and now you do. What I would like to know, though, is do you think you say yes too much now?
Yes, definitely. One of my goals was to say no this year, but I don't know. It's just hard to. Yeah. And I think I always want to try something new and give it a go. And I think, it's character building. And I think like that life-changing, moment, and when I, became paralysed, it was like life is too short. And that perspective of going, you have to give it a go now, or like there's not always a guarantee of being able to do that forever.
But yeah, just learning that there's sometimes you've got to have a good line that you can say to people.
Set
it's like
boundaries, balance.
Boundaries.
Yeah.
It's a bloody good word. So where have you been based this last time in Europe?
So we're mostly based in Italy, which is like a 30-minute, so we're a really small town, like 30 minutes from Cortina, which is where the Paralympics and Olympic Winter Games are going to be held. So yeah, it was pretty cool, and we went there last season as well, so we kind of knew the land. But it's like right on the border of Austria, so you didn't know if someone was going to speak German or Italian. So it was quite an interesting small town, but it was great. It was like our home away from home, and then we would just travel around the mountains to the different competitions that we're on. So a lot of time in Austria, a little bit of time in Switzerland and Slovakia.
Wow, because it's like they're all there's some days that you can be in all four countries on the same day, right?
Yeah, you could drive through 4 countries in a day, and it's crazy. Like Germany's right there, Austria's right there, France, Switzerland. So I'd never travelled like until after my injury, and like now I'm like I've got to explore the world and like just drive to another country. Like I couldn't fathom that.
Can do it here.
Yeah.
And so when you're over there, like when you've been over these past 2 seasons, who are you with?
So it changed last year. So the team keeps getting smaller. So I went over there with my coach, and then we kind of linked in with other people. Sometimes we're training with Corey and Adam, who are the other New Zealand Paralympic skiers, and we'd also join in with other small nations. So like Australia, Liechtenstein. There was like kind of like a para like global team as well. So like one of the girls was from Netherlands and like the UK and that kind of stuff. So we all kind of rally together. But a lot of the time it's just me and my coach, which is pretty quiet. And especially when you're around, like in these places where people don't speak English, like you're not in these big tourist areas, it can be quite like, I don't know, not isolating, but like it is a lot of time. But obviously me and my coach, we get along quite well, so yeah.
Yeah. And I guess in terms of, isolating but not, but because it's an amazing experience, but you must really look forward to getting home.
I think I just enjoy the now. Like it's like when you're in Europe, I'm like, let's like embrace the Europe kind of food and culture and that kind of like all those kind of things that's going for it. And then when you're home, you also really enjoy those kinds of things as well. So I don't know. I enjoy both. I'm so lucky I get to do both. Everyone's like, you're living the dream. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good actually. Yeah.
And what is it when you're training? What does a typical week look like?
Northern Hemisphere or Southern Hemisphere?
Let's start with the Northern.
Okay. So, well, it's kind of like you try to plan and like base it around like events, like competitions and things. And you try to be selective around which ones to go to, but essentially training like 5 days a week. And then obviously you got to include travel days, like normally it'd be 1 day of travel to the location. You could be driving like, I don't know, 8 to 10 hours potentially to another country. But yeah, it could be like 3 days on, a day off, 2 days on. I don't know, it just depends based on like weather and what you can, just those logistics kind of stuff.
And in terms of training, what ratio is it that's actually out on the ski field versus strength, mobility and that kind of stuff?
Well, it differs, but obviously like the best training, like it's such a technical sport and there's so many like external factors, so snow conditions, like the slope, weather, all those kinds of stuff. So yeah, taking into account all those kinds of things, but definitely we ski in all types of weather because, you have to get, on a race day it could be raining, it could be snowing, it could be white out or really windy, but sorry.
The ratio.
Ratio.
Of ski field versus like strength and mobility.
Yeah. So like normally like you'd probably like ski like 2-3 hours, like block of like training. And then sometimes it'll be longer depending on what you're doing. If you're free skiing, you're actually in gates, so it's quite different. And then, then I guess like we normally do strength and mobility, like kind of heavy sessions like 3 times a week. And then, just incorporate lots of other things as well.
Yeah.
But it's not as long as you think, but then it's just the travel time of getting there. And then also you got to like do things like maintain all your equipment. So like tuning your skis, waxing your skis, fixing anything that's broken on your sit ski. All those kinds of things.
And the sit ski is quite fascinating because essentially there are a lot of similarities to people that are skiing like standing up. So it's like a bucket type seat that's like hooked into a single ski.
And it's so bizarre because like I had never heard of sit skiing before my injury, and I was like, how does someone paralyzed? They can't even stand. Like how do they ski, right? And it is like very similar to like how you would ski, right? So we have a normal ski, normal binding, except we've got this like fancy custom frame with like a motorcycle suspension and like spring in it, so it can absorb those bumps and things. And then you have a bucket that you're sitting in. You got straps, a leg cover to protect you, and then you got the little wee crutches called outriggers for balance and like for pushing around and getting on and off the chairlift, or if you fall over, getting back up. So, and then the only real difference is that obviously we've only got one ski compared to 2, which is obviously harder for balance.
Yeah.
But if you're going faster, it's actually easier. So, you've got to go faster, and then it's pretty much the same movements, but obviously because I can't move or feel like below my waist, it's like starting the movement higher up as low as possible, but higher up than what you would like with your feet.
Gosh, so that would just be so much more in your core? Like,
just core, and I don't know. It kind of just happens.
I don't believe that either. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. I'm pretty sure if I plonked myself in one, it wouldn't happen. But so you're not like I just when I think about any time that I've been skiing, I'm like, oh god, my bloody dicky knees. But what are your risks of injury?
Well, like you're pretty well like secure in the rig, is what you call it. So. You're not, I mean, obviously, like, it is a scary sport. There's a lot of fear, and whenever you're kind of like, oh, I'm comfortable now doing that, then you go up the next level. So it's like you're never comfortable. You're always pushing yourself. So it is a challenging sport, but obviously it's a high risk sport. There's injuries that can happen. There's a lot of crashes. You know, I've had my fair share of crashes. Probably, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It is risky, but everything's a risk, I think, and I think it's worth it.
Have you always been a risk taker?
Don't know. Maybe.
Or was it sort of post-accident is something that probably ignited?
I think when I had the accident, I was just like, well, what else is going to happen? Like, most people's eyes, like, right, having a spinal cord injury or not being able to walk, they're like, if you're in a wheelchair, like, that's the worst thing that could possibly happen, which I don't think it is. Like, I can still do a lot of things. But, yeah, I'm like, well, I'm already paralysed, can't feel half my body, it's fine. I'll be right. Like, obviously you want to look after your shoulders and what I do have and your head and those kind of things. But, yeah, like, you're sensible.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you kind of have to have that confidence to go fast. And it is scary, but got to keep pushing through.
Because you, as you said, you weren't much of a skier before your accident, and it was sort of by chance, I guess, or you went away, you went to a ski day, and was the amazing Adam Hall there, who's was he there?
Yeah, well, not the first time.
It wasn't the first time.
No, yeah. So, well, I mean, first of all, like, I grew up in Southland where, like, skiing wasn't really a big thing. It was, like, more team sports, like, to keep busy and, like, till retirement. What are you going to do? You play sports. So I played lots of team sports like netball, rugby, basketball, touch, all those kinds of things. And then when I had my injury, I was like, well, I can't do any of those things anymore. It looks quite different. So I was, you know, initially I got into like Parafit Otago and my Parafit Canterbury, and they like you could do these athletics and this and that. And to me, I was like, well, that's kind of boring. Like, I'd much rather do something fun. So like, I'll consider it, but I'd rather do something fun. And then when I went back to Dunedin, I kind of got into wheelchair basketball, which was okay. But yeah, when I was back studying in Dunedin, they were like, oh, to Parafit Otago, like, I'll come along to Wanaka for a weekend and try out skiing. And I thought, like, how would you do that, right? How do you even get around a mountain as a wheelchair user? But it's actually not as hard as I thought it was going to be. And then, yeah, once I got on the sit skiing, I went to Kadrona. I was like, this is amazing. Like, leave the wheelchair in the courtyard, see you later, get in the sit ski, and you're just on the mountain like everyone else. So that was pretty fun.
So so the first time you got on one, was there a feeling that you're like, oh yeah, this is a bit of me?
Well, no, not necessarily because it was scary, because you can't feel your body and like the ski feels so far from the snow, and you also fell over every 6 minutes, so I was covered in bruises. But then they like took us up the chairlift because I was just on the magic carpet to start with, and then the instructor took us up on the chairlift and kind of like bucketed, so they kind of like were guiding you down, and you got a bit of a feeling of what it's going to be like. And I was like, okay, this could be fun. I feel like this could be a good challenge to, you know, try and be able to not even go. I wasn't thinking, I didn't even know there was a Paralympic pathway then. I was just like, I want to be able to go drive up to the mountain myself, get in my sit ski myself, don't need any of this help, and then be able to go ski with my friends or family and just like explore the mountain and be in nature like everyone else. And that was kind of like my goal.
That's so cool though.
Yeah.
And then that's a great goal to have as well. I think that's really awesome. Also though, added to that now is this chance to potentially go to the 2026 Paralympic Games, the Winter Games. When will we know? When will you know if you're going?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't really know. I think January is likely when I'll find out. So, yeah, I'm training really hard. I've obviously just had the Europe season. Although it was quite a warm season, a lot of races were cancelled. So it was quite a challenging season. And obviously the sport is, as you need the weather, you need the snow, you need the cold. So, yeah, just really training and working hard towards, you know, representing New Zealand, and I want to do a good job. If I get the opportunity to this year, if not, you know, keep going till I get to.
And so do you know particularly like how you'd be selected? Like, do you have to win a certain amount of races? Is it done on time, on your time, like, or is it sort of a mixture of everything?
It's a mixture of everything, but my coach just says just ski fast.
Okay.
Yeah. Ski fast, go left, right, around the blue, around the red, you know. He's like, just simplify it. But
this is kind of a staggering thought that I hadn't thought about until I read about it that you would be the first female Winter Paralympian in over 20 years.
I know, it's pretty crazy. So like when I got into sit skiing, right, I was like, there's some awesome male sit skiers around, and they're like, it's pretty cool, but I'm like, where's all the female sit skiers at? So and then when I'm looking into like the Winter Paralympics, and there hasn't been a female since 20 years ago, and like females that have been to the games, they've done really well. So yeah, I mean, there's obviously lots of barriers, and it's not as easy to kind of have this lifestyle, right? Like it is a self-funded lifestyle until you're at the top and you are consistently medaling at Paralympic Games, like Adam and Corey are. You're kind of trying to juggle work as well as being an athlete and those kind of things. So it isn't easy, and that's probably why there hasn't been a female.
Yeah, it's amazing though as well, just going back to you saying being self-funded. So when you go to Europe and that's on you, you have to save your pennies and off you go.
Yeah, well, yeah, so like when I'm in Wanaka, I studied occupational therapy, so I work full-time as an occupational therapist while I'm in New Zealand, and then juggle that with all my other commitments that I've said yes to. And then I also, like, when I was overseas, I used to just take extended leave without pay. Like, my work were really, like, flexible and supportive of that. But then this season I was able to work a few hours, like a night while I was over there as well. So had some income rather than just losing all my money while I'm overseas, because obviously the New Zealand dollar to the euro or the US dollar isn't great. Mm-hmm. So, all those other things. And like adaptive sports, like there's not much media exposure. People don't know what sit skiing is. People don't know what para-alpine skiing is. And it's a shame, because I think it's a really interesting sport. So without the media exposure and things like that, there isn't that sponsorship opportunities. So it is really self-funded, but, I think I want to do it, so make it happen.
Very cool how you decided to become an occupational therapist after working with occupational therapists in your recovery. Were you just like, these people are awesome, I want to be like them?
Not necessarily.
No? Tell me.
Well,
then.
I mean,
Tell
sort
me
of.
how.
I mean, like, you've had this life-changing, injury, and then your whole world is changing. You're like, well, how do I navigate this world for, like, day-to-day life? This world is not designed for people with disabilities, let alone a wheelchair user. Physically, the environment, or societal kind of attitudes. And then it's like, well, okay, well, what about work? How am I going to get money? I wasn't studying. I was studying at the time of injury, so I'm getting 80% of nothing. So I was like, I have to do something, right? And I want to do something that I'm interested in and helps people. So when I saw what an OT was, and kind of had the variety of OTs, so you had an OT in Burwood teaching you how to, like, dress yourself, use, someone who, like, scripted your wheelchair, right? A wheelchair is quite complex, and setting it up, and there's different wheels and different push rooms, all that kind of stuff. Then there's the transport OT who, like, helps you be able to drive again, which is, like, huge. Then you go home and there's someone in the community, there's a housing OT. They're like, oh my gosh, there's so many options. So yeah, it was like a meaningful occupation that I was like, I think this would be like logistical, like from a wheelchair you could do, because it's all around problem solving. So yeah, then I just thought, okay, let's do it. I didn't really want to go back to Dunedin though, but that's where you could either study in Hamilton or Dunedin. So yeah, made the choice to go back to Dunedin and study that.
Yeah. And it's a job that you love?
Yeah. I mean, you are helping people. There's, like, my job specifically, like, I'm in the community helping people, like, in kind of like Wanaka, Central Otago kind of area. And, yeah, I love it. It's cool. Like, you're helping people do the things that they want to do, and, you can relate to those people because you know what it's like for your life to change, right? And your whole identity, and trying to navigate those new circumstances.
When you had the accident and you were in the recovery phase, did you have particular people that you sort of hold dear?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. There's like the people in the hospital, they were like family. Like, you're in a little bubble in Burwood, and like they're like massive times, right? You have like extreme highs and lows, and like realization of like the permanence of your injury and how to navigate it. So you definitely like, they are your support system alongside like your family and community that were there. But they, like, some of them, like, I still like keep in touch with, quite a few people through that time. And
I know, and I have seen through various things that you've done, that something that's really important to you, which I really respect and admire, is sort of portraying and putting out like a really positive message about how your accident did change your life, but actually how grateful you are for where you are today. So I want to reiterate that that's definitely what we want to talk about.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you though, as a 19-year-old, you know, I remember being 19. I remember being at uni. I remember it well. There's probably some days I don't remember it as well as others. Can you, when you look back to where life was, you know, young, wild, free at Dunedin, and the accident happening, are you able to reflect and think back about how hard it was at that moment and in that time?
Yeah, like it was hard, but I guess I didn't realise like the gravity of it. Like I didn't know what a spinal cord injury was. I wasn't aware of the complexity of a spinal cord injury. Like it's not just that you can't walk. Like there's a lot of other things that you have to think about. You know, you can't feel, you can't move your legs, and like no amount of like rehab is going to support you to walk. It's like, you know, a lot of people say to you, oh, my friend broke their back and they can walk now. And I'm like, okay, I broke my back, but my spinal cord injury, you know, the spinal cord injury is the thing that's not regenerating, right? So if I can't feel my legs, how do you expect me to move them? But that was quite hard. But then also, like now accepting this is reality and there's nothing I can do to change it, right? So it's like you can either grieve, definitely grieve, like, you know, if you have low moments, like, okay, say, yes, this is shit. And there are times now that I'm like, this is actually shit, this is so hard, and why is it so challenging? But then there's also these amazing opportunities that, like, my whole life path has changed, and a lot of it is for the better. So it's kind of like conflicting because, like, people are like, would you change, like, what would happen? Would you go back and change it if you could? And it's like, but then I wouldn't have met the people I've met. I wouldn't be doing the job I'm doing. I wouldn't be, having this opportunity to potentially represent New Zealand on the world stage, you know, and travelling, all these things. Like, yeah, it's been epic, but definitely, like, it is hard.
I guess it's probably a question that you don't even have to have the answer to. Like, yeah, it depends what day it is, you know?
Yeah, but I had such good support, like, while I was in Burwood, and, like, from being from a small town, right, everyone rallies around you and supports you, so I made that kind of tough time a lot easier, and it's just like, okay, just get on with it, you know? Like,
do you have steps or sort of like, I don't know, things that you do if you're having a shit day that sort of help you?
I think you just gotta, I don't know, acknowledge that it is shit and it is hard, and just, you know, say that to whoever's around you, wherever it is. You know, I've had my fair share of challenging times, whether it's travelling across, you know, Europe by myself and just being absolutely frustrated at the lack of, you know, access or those kinds of things. It is hard, or like your body's just not doing what you want it to do. That is really frustrating. But, you know, then you, I don't know, you just got to look at the small kind of positive things that are going well.
Because the physicality of a sport that you've chosen, like that is a difficult sport. And so I guess if your stocks are down physically, sometimes that sort of has a knock-on effect mentally for anyone, you know. But how do you, what are the best ways for you? Like, is it the age-old, you know, eat well, sleep well, you know, all of that? You know, what are some of the things that you do to keep your physicality at its best?
I think it's like that balance, right? But I think also like having things to look forward to, like doing fun things with friends and family, like planning an adventure. Like I've got lots of things I want to do. It's just, there's so many, like there are a lot of barriers obviously to doing the things you want to do. Like costs and like adaptive equipment is very expensive, and like, I want to get out mountain biking, but like, you know, all my friends and things in Monaco are going out to all these trails, and I'm like, oh, I want to go there. Like I'm so jealous and so envious, like living vicariously through them. But yeah, like things like going heli skiing. Like I'm like super keen to get out into the backcountry, and lots of my friends will go backcountry skiing where they can actually walk up and like walk up with their skis on, and access like these remote places, and have like beautiful powder skiing. But in a sit ski, that's not possible at the moment. So it's like the only way to do it is through heli skiing.
The helicopter.
And the only time I've been in a helicopter was bloody when I got injured. So I need
another
one.
turn.
Yeah,
bloody
exactly.
hell, yeah.
I was stoked though, but I was told I was going in the helicopter to Christchurch from Dunedin. But, you know, I want to go up the mountain and go, heli skiing and like camp out overnight and like be in the mountains, and that's my goal this year.
Well, can we make that happen?
Yeah.
Should we make?
I want to do it.
Do you know some people?
Come? Yeah.
Shit, yeah, I'm there. I love a helicopter.
You like skiing?
Well, I'm not.
You like the cold?
Wait, talk to me. Wait, yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm all good with
We'll
that.
make it work.
So, but wait a minute. If we're going heli skiing, does the helicopter land, or we have to jump out of it? No, we don't have to jump out of it. Eh? That's ridiculous.
No, I mean, I don't know. Haven't done it. We'll find out.
Do they lower us down?
I think they would land.
Oh, cool.
I would hope.
I don't think it's in my wheelhouse.
For a short period anyway.
Yeah.
On
And
the
then
top of a mountain,
Wow. Okay, so you're up for it. If you want to do it.
Definitely. We have to.
Okay. Oh, well, just look, if anyone's got a helicopter that's watching or listening, down south, there's heaps of helicopters down there.
Oh, there's lots, yeah.
Okay.
And lots of great mountains.
I'm just going to write that down because I like a challenge. All right, well, it's funny because actually on that, you and your challenges. So you climbed Mount Iron.
Oh yeah.
Was that end of last year?
Had to officially become a Wanaka local,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and now that you've tackled that, we'll get to Roy's Peak, but which is not fun. How did that tell me? You told me about that before we started recording, but that was just a sort of an idea, and then the next day it happened.
Well, basically the winter had finished last year, and what do we do with our time? We were kind of a bit bored, so we were checking out some of the different trails, and it's hard to know, like recreationally, like what is accessible, like what trails can you do from a wheelchair, right? There's like a huge lack of information and things online, so we were checking out the Millennium Track, and it's quite a hilly track, but they just had newly leveled it out. So anyway, it was up and down, it was pretty good. And then my friends are really like, oh, if you can do the Millennium Track, I think we could do Mount Iron. Then we're like, okay, but it's a constant downhill, so how are we going to slow down? And also there was a stile at the top as well that you had to climb over, and a few rocks to get over. I'd never done it before my injury, so I actually didn't know. But they're like, oh, it's only a couple Ks and it'll be fine. I'm like, okay, so my friend's like, I'll just bring my climbing rope and harness, and then we can, tie up to you and slow you down. So the next morning at 7:30, we were at the Mount Iron car park and making our way up. There was about 6 of us, having turns, giving me a bit of a helping hand. Like, I definitely couldn't do that myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, made it happen, and got to see what everyone else gets to see, a lot of the time. It was pretty epic. So we did that. The uphill was actually a lot easier than coming down.
Oh, really?
Because coming down, you're trying not to fall out of your wheelchair.
Yeah. Trying
to go slow enough that you can manage all the rocks and roots and things that are coming your way. But yeah, the resistance from the climbing rope and my friends were pretty helpful. They might have fallen over a couple of times, but sacrifices. But and then now they're like, okay, what next? That was too easy. Like we were down for coffee at 9, I think. So seen half of Wanaka out there as well. But then they were talking about other trails, and then they're like, oh, let's scope out, see what else would be kind of accessible. And they're like, Roy's Peak. I was like, it's like triple the height and length that we just did, but why not? So,
I mean, it's a monster. I can tell you that. But it's a well.
You're gonna come down for that as well.
Oh yeah. Should we do it? Should we do it all in one weekend?
Now,
We'll do it. I love Wanaka. It's such a beautiful place. It is truly stunning. Funnily enough, the day that I did Roy's Peak, though, the weather was absolutely shite, and I couldn't see a thing.
Yeah.
It just doesn't end, It's just like up, turn around, up for just forever.
Yeah.
But I guess the track's quite wide.
It's a 4-wheel drive track. So
yeah, pretty much, eh?
Pretty accessible compared to rocks or steps and things like that,
Gosh.
Give it a go.
Okay,
Give it a challenge.
Hey, no, well, if anyone can do it, it's you.
Take some snacks, have a break. Scenic views all the way up.
Yeah, I mean, there's a place
we'll do it with a window.
Well, but also there's a place where hardly anyone gets photos that you'll be able to,
Yeah, a very discreet spot.
Yeah. Now, we've talked about reflections, and I love that you've got this, I guess, attitude. And a good attitude and this motivation, which is really, it's quite contagious, and also I think it's probably really a refreshing thing for people to hear. Where does that come from?
Oh, the thing is, when I had this injury, right, I'm like, I've had this injury, now I use a wheelchair. Yes, to others, I'm like, yes, you're a girl in a wheelchair or whatever, but I'm still the same person, I still want to do the same things that I was doing, if not more. And I don't know, just, I guess, family, support, friends, it's just, it was not really a big deal to everyone. Everyone was just like, okay, this is what it is. And we'll include you in doing whatever we're doing. And that kind of like happened from day dot, I don't know.
You're so chill, but
It's just like, it is what it is, right?
well, yeah, you're right.
It was an
You're right,
accident,
but
and now this is how it is.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that I think it would be fair to say that you're quite a highly motivated person. Like
Sometimes.
there's an elevated motivation to you and the way that you look at life, wheelchair or otherwise.
Yeah, well, I think it's just like, I want to have fun.
Yeah.
I want to do the things that other people do. I don't want to miss out, So,
How old are you now?
Not, don't ask it. No, 28, 28. No,
28,
28, yeah.
You're worried about me asking how old you are and you're only 28. Jesus Christ, you're fine, dolls.
Oh,
Yeah, you've got heaps of... Tiny baby.
No.
I love it.
Yeah.
The fact that you are able to live in a beautiful place and do something you love, is it possible to ask you what you love the most about what you do?
I don't know, just everything. Like, I don't want to single anything out, right? But I think skiing, like, that is the thing I love the most. Like, I do this because I want to be on the mountain, I want to be skiing, I want to be faster, I want to be better. Like, it's such a technical sport, but it's such a fun sport, and like, there's no better feeling than being in the mountains, right? Like, especially on this powder day, can't beat it.
See, I love it because people wouldn't have heard this before we hit record. I was talking about how I'm addicted to the beach in the summer, and you're the complete opposite, which is, hey, that's probably lucky because this just means that
balances it out.
It does balance it out.
Yeah.
How often do you get back to Winton?
Oh, I was there last weekend. Went down there, went fishing, caught up with the family, and caught some blue cod.
Oh yeah.
The best part of it.
And I bet the town's proud of you. Like, do they ask you to come back to school?
Oh yeah, so I'm part of like this Parasport Champion initiative with Harvey Norman and Paralympics New Zealand, and one of that is like there's a curriculum that primary schools can like learn about like parasports and then like specifically para athletes in New Zealand and learn about all those different sports and access and all those kinds of stuff. So yeah, and part of that is they then can request the para athletes come out and speak to the schools and kind of share your journey. And I got to go down back to my old school last year, both my primary school and my high school actually. So it was cool to kind of go back and see all the teachers, and I've got little like nephews and things down there now as well. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
How many people live in Winton?
I don't know, a couple thousand.
Oh, it would be a couple of thousand?
Yeah.
Just remind
lots of farms around there, It was like 20 minutes from Invercargill.
That's right. I was just trying to think. Yeah, so is it on the way to, like, if you were driving to Queenstown?
Yeah.
No, yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes,
So it's like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Hour 45 to Queenstown.
Yeah.
Not far. It's like 3-hour drive from Wanaka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where does your most of your family still there?
Yeah, most of the family in Winton, but like some of my siblings are now in Australia as well. So
Yeah.
my sister like is the opposite to me. She loves the beach.
Is she on the Gold Coast?
She's on the Gold Coast.
Yeah. So she's me.
And I'm trying to convince her to move to Wanaka, But she loves the beach and I love the mountains. But like the beaches in Winton, not Winton,
Winton.
but like Oriti and Riverton Beach, they wasn't like that enticing really. Every time we used to go to the beach, we'd leave Winton to be sunny, get to Riverton, it'd be raining. And Mum's like, well, you're gonna get wet anyway, just off you go.
And I mean, far out, man, down that
cold.
part of the world, it's cold. But also there's massive sharks. Well, I mean,
not really.
Nah, yeah, there are. I've
like
seen,
further out.
Nah, actually, I'm telling you.
Not in Riverton.
What's the Riverton? Yeah, I've been to Riverton. Mm. Look, all I'm saying is, if you watch Shark Week, well, that's not
What's the chances that'll happen?
Oh, nah.
And they can bite my leg, I don't mind.
I mean, no, hey, bear in mind,
Won't hurt.
that's their house.
Yeah,
I absolutely respect it. It was classic. We were flying back from Rakiota, from doing the Rakiota Challenge on Stewart Island.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful day. Have you done that flight?
There's great whites out in Stewart Island, definitely.
Yeah. But no, listen, that we were flying back. It was a beautiful day. The pilot was like, right, this is the perfect day to look for whales. And we didn't see any whales, but we looked down like I was sitting next to the pilot. Pilots for the Stewart Island flights.
It's a small plane.
Small plane.
You're a VIP.
VIP straight at the front. And all the pilots all look like they're about 20 years old. And they probably are, and that's all good. Anyway, we're just about to land on the Invercargill side.
Yeah.
Massive black doo-doo. I was like, ooh.
What was it?
What was a shark?
Was it black?
Yeah, big dark. Well, big dark.
Oh, right,
big
yeah.
dark, you know. Anyway, no, I love them.
Like you're in the sky.
Exactly. No, I look, I love them, but I don't need
There's
to be...
no sharks in the mountains, so...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Quite safe up there,
Yeah,
aren't
pretty
you?
safe, yeah.
From the wildlife.
Yeah.
Now, when people have heard this episode, you and I would have been out and done the Wings for Life World Run, which is amazing for anyone not familiar with it. It's a charity race where 100% of the entry fee goes to help with spinal cord injury research. And the cool thing about the run is that everyone starts all around the world at the same time. So we're Sunday night, 11 p.m.
Of course.
Are you a night owl?
Yeah, I am actually.
Yeah. And we move until we get chased by the virtual car.
It's a pretty cool concept, right?
Yeah.
I love it. I've been part of it for about last 4 years. I've been coming out to Auckland to run in it, and it's awesome now because I've also got friends all over the world running that I ski with. They will all know, you know, and it's an accessible event. It's inclusive, and like obviously the reason behind it is like very close to me. But yeah, it's like each year I'm trying to do a PB. You know, you got 30 minutes before the catch car starts chasing you. So I think my PB I've got so far is 12.8k. But
Oh, wow.
yeah, I think how did you go?
The last time I did it was that time that we were at West Haven Marina, and it was absolutely bucketing down.
Yeah.
And I think I did 15k.
Yeah.
But this weekend that you and I are doing it, I've got a half marathon the weekend after.
yeah.
So I'm
Take it
just
easy.
going to do an hour or so.
Yeah,
But you go.
No, I might take it easy too.
Yeah. And I guess as well though, just on that in terms of raising money for spinal cord injury research, I mean, we just have to keep doing that until we learn more and I don't know, find the magic wand.
Yeah, like obviously I'm very fortunate to like the like support that we have like in New Zealand with ACC and kind of like, you know, the technology that's out there these days, like it is really good, and like my level of injury is pretty manageable, you know, but a lot of people have higher injuries and a lot less function than I do, and potentially a lot less quality, like, you know, a reduced quality of life. So I think this would help a lot. And the thing is, spinal cord injuries are going to continue to happen, especially with all these high risk, you know, sports or, you know, accidents and things that happen. I mean, it's definitely going to make people's lives easier if you can at least increase some function.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you like to do? I mean, you're always here, there and everywhere. And what are some of the things that you like to do when you're not up the mountain? Are you just like, are you someone that chills out a bit, or do you always like to be on the go?
I don't really know if I know how to chill out. Very competitive, you know. I just always have something planned.
Yeah.
Yeah, just try something new. Don't know. Well, we've got a few adventures coming.
Well, we're going heli skiing.
Yeah.
We're climbing up Roy's Peak.
You got to work and sleep and all those. Got to cook and clean, you know, those kinds of stuff as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And just hang out with friends would probably be my chill time or family.
It's cool though as well, because I think as adults we tend to, more often than not, and I understand, and it's good to have to live a life where you can have elements of comfort in terms of routine, doing things that you're good at. But obviously you are someone that really does lean into and sees the benefits of being outside your comfort zone and what that does for you. Well, I guess what I'd say for myself is that I know that pushing myself physically and mentally in a space helps in other areas of my life. Is that the same for you?
Yeah, definitely. I'm always outside my comfort zone, and often I don't want to be, but I'm kind of forced to. But, you know, it keeps it exciting, and yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to give you your Kiwi Yarns quick fire questions.
Yeah.
But actually, I've got one that I didn't give you, but hopefully you'll be okay with it. No, don't stress. It's an extra question, and it's thanks to Blundstone Boots, Tasmanian born, New Zealand worn. What's the hardest job you've ever had, and why?
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's pretty hard to put boots on, but no, I mean, hardest job.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like this job I do is like quite challenging. It's like complex, like cognitively kind of demanding. But then, growing up in Southland, we had, I've worked at Subway and also worked in the shearing sheds, rousing in my, summer holidays. So I guess those were probably more physically demanding.
Subway.
Yeah.
I'm a big. This is not sponsored. I'm a big fan of Subway.
Yeah.
It's my go-to like post-run feed.
Yeah.
Did you work there so much that you don't have it now, or do you like it?
No, I still like it. In Europe, you kind of got a bit sick of the kind of same old kind of European bread and cheese kind of thing. So
Butter.
Yeah, we were like, where is the closest Subway? And then one time when I really felt like it was 6 hours away, so had to wait a couple of weeks before we could get to one. But definitely still love one.
Yeah.
But not all the time.
What's your go-to?
Oh, yeah, chicken teriyaki, I think. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually the 3 pepper chicken.
Oh, yeah.
3 pepper chicken. Sometimes I'll go for a little bit of pepperoni just to give it that little kick.
Yeah.
Bit of avocado, some olives.
All the fancy stuff.
I don't have heaps of salad though. I'm not a big salad in a sandwich kind of gal. It just really...
That's the best part of it.
Look, I disagree. I respectfully disagree. Anyway, we'll rip into the other ones. What kai is on the menu for your final feed?
I think either some Japanese sushi or something like that, or can't beat fresh blue cod.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
If I gave you a magic wand to change one thing in Aotearoa, what would it be?
Yeah, I think it would be there's so many things improve I don't know, people's understandings or access for people with physical disabilities, or even just getting more people into para alpine skiing would be amazing. I would love to have some more females skiing with me, so it wouldn't be so lonely, wouldn't be so boring, and show the guys what's up. So that would be good.
Love it. Brilliant. Your favourite Kiwi artist or song?
I think Jin Wigmore, Brother. That's a good one. Yeah, classic.
Jin's awesome, eh?
Yeah, it was
Great.
a throwback. Heard that the other day. I was like, yeah, that's good.
Do you have, before a race, have you got a playlist, a build-up playlist?
It keeps changing.
Yeah.
But yeah, my coach is trying to get me into the heavy metal. To
enrage you.
Yeah, get me angry, but not yet. Still working on it.
Baby steps with that one. Where would you love to go in Aotearoa that you haven't been?
The backcountry, ski in the mountains.
It's just that helicopter. We need that helicopter again, everybody. Okay, on to that. Now, your last question for the Kiwi Yarns Quickfire. You're stranded on the Auckland Islands. You'd love it because it's cold.
It's actually down south.
You'd be sweet. And in particular, Disappointment Island. What are the 5 things you'd take to avoid...
5?
5 things that you'd need not only to avoid being stranded and disappointed. We'd be stranded, but it's to prevent you from being disappointed.
Yeah, okay. So is my wheelchair included?
Yep.
So I get 5
we wouldn't.
more.
That would be cruel.
Oh, okay,
That would be cruel to take that away from you.
I mean, that could be one of my options.
Yeah.
I mean, islands aren't great for me. I much prefer the mountains, but definitely maybe a fishing rod to get some, catch some kai.
Yeah.
And then some friends for some company.
Yeah.
And the helicopter to take me back to the mountains. That'd be good.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
You got 2 more.
Oh, food and water. There we go.
Done. All right. Hey, well, look, gosh, we will keep in comms. Actually, we'll keep in comms for a few things.
Yeah.
The helicopter, Roy's Peak, but obviously as well, we'll be watching with interest to see how the 2026 campaign goes.
Yeah.
All the best back home for winter.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for coming on Kiwi Yarns.
Thanks for having me.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you, everyone, so much for listening. That was Kiwi Yarns. We'll see you next week.